Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Halftime with K Bizzy. Thank you very much for watching. If you're tapping in on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever the case may be, I appreciate you guys coming and supporting the channel, and especially coming and supporting Slaid, our guest today. Slaid is a pretty big skin enthusiast, and my buddy Two Tone, shout out to Two Tizzy, he actually introduced us, so mega thank you to my boy Two Tizzy. Yeah, pretty much today we kind of just talk about, everything skins related, his YouTube channel. He makes a lot of content surrounding skins, so it's pretty interesting, and we just have a good time talking about everything skins related. So yeah, it's kind of fun to just talk about skins. We all love them, and there's nothing better than a good conversation about skins and the olden days back when skins were a newer thing, and before they were less established, far less established than they are right now. We're gonna kind of just jump right into things. Make sure you guys check the description and check out Slaid's links. If you haven't subbed to his YouTube already, you're missing out, and I suggest you go and do so. His link is in the description right underneath my link. So if you want to go check out any of my platforms too, my Twitch, we are just about at 1,000 followers on my Twitch. So when we hit that, we're going to be doing a giveaway on my Twitter. My Twitter is also linked down there. My YouTube channel, I mean, everything's down there. So go check it out if you want to support further, and we will catch you guys on the outro. We will jump right into things. Yo,
Yo, what's good, K Bizzy?
how you doing, bro?
Feeling great, man. How about you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How's your brother doing? That's the real question.
He's fine. It was crazy. Apparently, like it was a copperhead, so them bad boys are poisonous. But, uh, it was crazy too because they called 911 because we didn't know if it was a poisonous snake or whatnot. And like everybody shows up when you call. We had like the fire department, we had the ambulances, we
Oh,
even had police over there. I'm like, what are y'all doing over
just
here?
for a
But
snake.
right, yeah. They call everybody, but it was crazy, dude. There's like the whole driveway filled out with cars and sirens and everything. He's fine. He went back after they checked him out. He went back like 2 hours later. It was a dry bite, so like no venom really like got into his system and whatnot. So he just was like, snoozing the whole day and had some ice, but he's chilling. Yeah,
Okay, well, that's good to hear. Fuck, that must be pretty
yeah,
scary in the
dude.
moment.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was very confused why why there was a bunch of ambulances and fire trucks at the front, but yeah, he's good. He's good. So
All
I'm just
right.
saying.
First and foremost, we gotta give a shout out to my boy Two Tone for putting this one together.
Absolutely. Yeah. I spoke to Two Tone and he put me on to you. So dude, I'm happy to be here.
So let's get started on what the backstory on how you found Counter-Strike is. How did you come across this beautiful game that we love?
Um, no really crazy story about it. Honestly, around 2015, 2016, I first got a computer and I got into Steam. I didn't really have a lot of games on Steam, and my friend actually gifted me CS2, or sorry, CS2, CS:GO, and that was pretty much it, man. We were like grinding CS back in the day. We didn't really have much money to spend on skins or anything, but we were just enjoying the game as is.
Dude, it's like what year, just for reference, did you kind of get into CS, if you remember?
I think it was late 2015, early 2016, around that era.
Okay, so we got in at the same time then. I always love looking back at those days, bro. The best fucking times. The best.
It's it's crazy too because like a lot of people that I watch these days for CS content, I've been like super nostalgic. So I haven't been watching as much like new content, but I've been watching a lot of like the old videos from like 2016, 2017, like the anomaly, the sparkles. Like I've been watching all those old videos, dude. I've been so nostalgic for CS.
Yeah, man. And when you look back at it, it's like, some of these videos are like 10 plus years old. It's like, are we getting old? Like, has Counter-Strike really been around this long?
It's crazy, man. You look back at the videos and you see like 8, 9 years ago, and you're
Oh,
like, dang,
dude.
it's been a minute, dude.
So this question that I have for you might kind of bleed into the following question after, but you were kind of just touching on some of the content creators that you used to watch. Like, who were some more, like, Anomaly, Sparkles, like, kind of just like the OGs?
The biggest one for me was absolutely mixed skillet. Like,
Yes.
I got into skins maybe like half a year after I started playing CS a lot, and like he was the guy that really got me into looking into patterns, floats, the nuances, all of that like in-depth stuff about skins. I mean, mixed skillet 100% for me was the guy that really put me on the skins, and honestly probably has me doing skin content right now. Like a lot goes to him. I really enjoyed trade up content from Sparkles back then. All the anomaly videos, like I said, are just classics, man. I like to look back on it. As far as like newer, um, content coming out these days, I usually watch a lot of One, and a couple of like smaller channels, like investing related. I really like Skinomics. Great videos from him. And a couple like other small channels.
This episode of Halftime with K Bizzy is brought to you in part by PriceEmpire.com. PriceEmpire.com is absolutely loaded with essential tools for any skin enthusiast. Whether it be their blog, their price comparison app, the trending deals, or your personal inventory tracker, I mean, Price Empire really has it all. PriceEmpire.com is trusted by more than 1 million users on Trustpilot to ensure everybody that it is a fair and legit website. PriceEmpire.com is linked in the description. Go step your skins game up today. The whole McSkillet thing, like I found his channel before he started blowing up, and I got to watch him get so close to hitting 1 mil. It was crazy. It
Mhm.
sucks, like what ended up happening, that whole ordeal, and everybody fucking knows about it by now. But pretty crazy that it came to an ending like that, because he was, I mean, at the time, like he was absolutely huge. Like he was blowing up so fast, and his videos were so good. And like you said, like finding skins with patterns and like the little nuances and like skins with Easter eggs, like he'd have all types of videos like that, and it was so interesting.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's honestly kind of surreal to think about it too. It's like, you start getting into skins and looking into, how the scene evolved over time. And at the end of the day, you're going to come across McSkillet because, frankly, if you really look back at his videos, I mean, he was so ahead of his time. I mean, the scene obviously has evolved quite a bit, and people know about all the No Star Karambit and the Blue Gems and all that. But he was so ahead of its time. And you're gonna come across him at some point, and you find out what happened, and it's just like really surreal to think about. Like one of the biggest figures in the scene, from that time has just it's a crazy backstory that just it's honestly like crazy to hear for the first time. I mean, I remember hearing about it when that whole ordeal happened, and I was just uh, I don't know, it caught me completely off guard. I don't know. It was a crazy time, but like I said, I have to give a lot to him in terms of the content. Like I said,
Yeah.
I feel like he really moved the Counter-Strike scene to what it is today, in terms of collecting, and he really did a lot for the scene. And that's why I don't know. I feel like I have to give a lot to him for where I'm at personally with YouTube content. I look to him for a lot of inspiration just because, like I said, he was so ahead of his time. So I try and kind of get ideas from him, like what he was doing at the time, and kind of see if I can apply that here and come up with new content.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And a really interesting topic to me is, I always love hearing about how people came across skins. Like, I remember back in 2015 when I started playing, my buddy was, yo, you got to get this game Counter Strike. We were playing this game Combat Arms all the time. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, yeah, Counter Strike looks cool. I just got I got my first job and stacked up a bunch of money, got my first PC. And, you know, back when, I mean, 2015, I was like 16 years old. So, didn't really have much money to spend on bills and stuff like that. So you kind of just have a bunch of money coming, not a bunch, but at the age of 16, getting, a few $100 is like fucking pretty sweet. So my buddy was telling me about Counter-Strike, and I bought it. And then he's like showing me the skins and the cases. And he's like, yeah, they don't do anything to your gun, but make it look cool. It's not like you buy this Hyper Beast and your M4 is more powerful than the other guy's,
Yeah.
M4 on your team or whatever. I was like, man, this is like the stupidest concept I've ever fucking heard. About a month
Mhm.
in, I was completely reeled in, and I don't know, man. It was just like, to see how far skins have come is just super interesting. So, as a big skin enthusiast as you are, I was curious to hear what your first experience with skins was, and what kind of pushed you over to the edge to start collecting and investing in stuff.
Yeah, kind of like I touched up on, McSkillet and everything. I know, and it's funny too because yeah, when we talk about that era of 2015, 2016, I remember first getting into Counter-Strike. And like you mentioned, I had like no money back then. And so I could only really watch the trade up videos, the Dragon Lore showcase, all of that was on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it was it's kind of like peering in from the outside. Like you can obviously appreciate skins and know about them without owning them, but now it just feels really special to actually own a lot of these skins that I've been interested in for, 5, 6, 7 years. And it's funny too, because I remember when I first got into CS, I'm curious if it was the same for you. I was super concerned if, for example, I had a factory new skin, I took it in the game, and I thought it would start wearing. Like, I
Yeah.
thought the condition would get worse, man. I was so concerned about that. Yeah, I remember that was a big thing when I first got into CS.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, man. Ever
Oh,
since, yeah, ever since then, I've been like super stoked about it. I mean, I've kind of had my phases where like I'm super interested in skins if there's like an update, and then that kind of weans off for a little bit, and then another big update comes out, and I'm back in it. But ever since 2020, I've been like heavily in the scene. But also, how with Valve devs, they release updates on their own time,
yeah.
very sporadically, once or twice a year. So the interest back then kind of would come and go just because, like I said, new content. We haven't had new knife finish gloves. When was the last time? 5 years ago.
Oh,
Knives 10 years ago. It's very slow with Counter Strike. So you really have to be like super interested in it to like be locked in the scene for years on end.
yeah, absolutely. And it kind of just kills me a little bit, like I can't lie. I love Counter-Strike. Obviously, everybody likes the skins, okay? It's everybody. But I love Counter-Strike for the game itself. Like if, a bombshell hit Counter-Strike and they keep doing something, let's say for argument's sake, like with the Genesis terminal and all this bullshit they're doing. If skins died, obviously the game would be like in critical condition most likely. I would still be
Mhm.
like playing Counter Strike. It's the only game I play. It's pretty much like I just love the game for what it is, the 5v5 cops and robbers type of vibe to it. I mean, they just do it the best. Valve really does it the best with this game. But it kind of just kills me. I was just watching an anomaly video the other day for the 2 year anniversary of Counter Strike 2,
Yep, yep, yep.
and he breaks down all the updates that we've been getting. I'm saying all the updates as if we've been getting a lot of, we've been getting a lot of
It's
bullshit
looking rough
updates.
out here.
It's looking pretty rough. And how many updates they've given us in 2025 that were content, and then how many updates they've given us in 2025 that were just skins. The ratio there is it kills me, bro. It kills me. Like the game is really you hear people say it a lot and it gets kind of annoying, but the game is really just, let's update the game to protect our cash cow. That's really kind of just what it feels like, and it just kind of sucks, man. I get it though, but
Absolutely. Yeah, and I first I didn't get into CS because of skins. I got into CS because of the gameplay. I
exactly.
enjoyed, the 5v5 mode. I enjoyed surfing. I loved the game because of the game in the first, when I first started out, and I still do. Sure, like I do CS content, and for me, it's a big day when there's new skin content. But I'm honestly, and you touched up on Anomaly mentioning there has been barely anything with, actual gameplay. And I've been waiting for, and again, it's crazy to think about. We've been waiting for Cash for 2 years, Cobblestone for 2 years, and it's stuff that I'm honestly way more interested to see in the game than skins. Like we have skins, and they've been releasing a ton of skins, honestly. It's
Oh yeah.
it's thousands this year. We get it all the time, and sure, it's content for me to cover, but and when it comes to me actually enjoying and playing the game, I've been looking for some like casual game modes to play, like Flying Scoutsman. I actually really enjoyed. It was a super underrated mode. And then even with like Danger Zone,
Yeah.
we don't like I loved it. I know it was like by the numbers, it wasn't the biggest thing for the community. People didn't play it that much, but it was still something when you got tired of playing competitive. And you're like, okay, let me just chill with the homies and hop on, just mess around on a game mode. I would really love to see some more casual game modes. Give us like knives only, knives and shotguns. There's so
Yeah.
much that they can do, and the community. Honestly, at this point right now, I feel like 80% of content with Counter Strike is ran by the community. We have a ton of incredible map makers and people doing surfing maps. The all the creative, the Squid Game, all of the creative maps, like it's all community ran. So that just
100%.
kind of goes to show, I feel like, how strong the community for CS really is.
I think the community is really what just makes Counter Strike to me I'm completely biased when I say this because again it's like the only game I really ever play. It's the best game ever, and it's because of the community. I have a video that I'm getting a script for that I'm writing up, and I'm kind of just breaking down all of each little aspect of the community that literally makes Counter Strike thrive. And when you look at it, like, okay, if Valve didn't exist, we wouldn't have Counter Strike. But if Valve didn't have us as the community, like, I don't think the game would have really been to where it is today. Like, you got so many people that come out with all different types of, you got Face It, you got Bob Calvary does Skin Score, you got CS Float Marketplace, you got Price Empire, they're the goats. They have a bunch of different tools on their website, and if there's something that we don't have, the community comes up with the solution and we have it. It's not Valve that does it, like it's us.
Exactly. I mean, and honestly, on its own, like the skins, I will give credit to Valve when they release skins. They did a phenomenal job with how they implemented it, and it's crazy because everything was there from the get go. The floats, the patterns, the rare
Yeah.
patterns, the wear styles, the wear pat, all of that was there from the start. But if we don't have Price Empire to check charts, we don't have CS Float for a marketplace, we don't have people making community maps. I mean, the game would be much more barren without all these people contributing to it. Like I said, it's Valve releases. I feel like because the community is so strong, Valve has the leisure to actually, drop updates whenever they want,
Hmm.
and they've been very slow with it.
Very,
Man,
very slow.
once again, it kind of comes back to like I'm just really hoping that we see some actual gameplay content coming soon. I have been like Cash was by far my favorite map on CS,
Oh,
so I
easily.
am just dude. I just hope so bad. And like you mentioned too, yeah, yesterday was the second anniversary for CS, right?
Hmm.
And we got absolutely nothing, kind of like last year. So
Not even a
Valve is
fucking
really
tweet.
nothing.
Like,
Valve and every year people get super hyped. They're like,
oh
we're
my
gonna get
god.
an update today. We're gonna get a new map, new skins, new collections, and we may get a tweet. That's on a good day. We'll get a
Yeah.
tweet from Valve. They just don't care, you know? It's wild.
I was on Twitter yesterday and I knew the minute I opened my eyes when I woke up, I'm like, okay, we're gonna see a bunch of idiots going, oh, what do you guys think we're gonna get today? Do you think we're gonna get an operation? Do you think we're gonna get a new case? Do you think we're get No, we're not getting shit. Okay, we're not getting shit. We should know this by now.
We never did, and I don't think we will ever will. Valve, whenever they decide, they want to update, they will. But it's never, they never like really cared for like the community sentiment. Honestly,
No.
as far as like special dates or anniversary, they never cared about that. So man, it's tough out here, man.
Yeah, it is, man. It is. So tell me what it was like what kind of pushed you to start your own YouTube channel? I'm guessing it was fairly easy to figure out your content style as your big skin guy, and you mentioned some of your inspirations on who kind of got you into skins and stuff. I If I had to guess, I would think that maybe, a guy like McSkillet or, guys like Anomaly or Sparkles or something like that kind of inspired you to make your channel. Am I right saying that, or was it something else?
I've been wanting to do content since probably 14, 15 years old, and I made my channel a long time ago, but only started uploading videos in 2023. So I kind of kept putting it off for a long time. And from the get-go, I wasn't 100% set on CS. Like I was really into CS and skins, but I wanted to do content. So I tried out a couple things. I did like some tier lists, and I did some like Black Ops 3 zombie map ratings and some random stuff. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll try my hand at like some, it was actually a video about Black Pearl fades. it was a topic that was very seldomly covered by TDM Jesus, so there's not really a lot of content on it, and I found it fascinating. By the way, I wish Black Pearls were still colorful in CS2 because the CS:GO version to me was incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made a video on this like super niche topic that wasn't really covered, and it kind of popped off, and I was like, hey, there's a community for this. People are actually interested in this like niche stuff, and so I started making more content. A lot of like I started with a lot of tier lists, and then I had one big video with glove knife combos that really popped off because of updates to CS. So some budget combos looked insane, and from there I was like, okay, I'm gonna just start grinding CS content. I was really enjoying it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, once you see the numbers, like that one video you're talking about here, it's your second most popular video on your channel, has over 200,000 views. Like, when you start seeing numbers like that, just doing stuff that you enjoy and people love it that much, I mean, I, I could see why you want to keep going and keep going.
100%. And then I don't know. It's you never really like picture yourself, getting as somebody that used to watch YouTube all the time. It's kind of crazy to think about the fact that you could be the person making the content. And so I remember when that video dropped, I was just so hype about it.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know, it's incredible. Like, tens of thousands of views. It was something I dreamed about, and it happening was like it was incredible, man. I was so hype, and even till this day, when videos perform very well, it's very exciting. I don't know, it's just people are seeing what you're doing, and maybe if they're interested, they subscribe, and then you kind of build a nice community around it, and it's a very fun system, but I will say very time consuming as well.
Yes, very time consuming. I feel that 1,000,000%.
Dude, yeah. It's great. I don't know. Whenever you think about like, and it honestly comes down to what type of content you're talking about. But whenever you're talking about a game like CS that has been out for over a decade and the skins have been out for years, you really have to dig deep and do a lot of research and get really creative to actually come out with new content for a game that's just as old as CS.
hmm Yeah, there's the whole aspect of like, oh, if I don't do this video and put it out first, someone else is gonna do it 100%. And there's just it's such a hard thing to try to find your little like niche because like you just said, there's just so many videos and there's so many people that have been doing this for so many years now, and it's just such a competitive environment in so many ways.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, honestly, on YouTube, I've spoken to a lot of people that were interested in making content, specifically for CS skins, and I typically do mention to them it is a very, very competitive scene, specifically with skins. I mean, like I mentioned, the skins have been out for such a long time that everybody knows. Like your average person just getting into CS might not know all the intricate ins and outs of skins, but people that know content, people that know CS skins, they know the patterns, they know the floats. So if you really want to, get your own audience and make your own style of skins, you have to do something very different. You either have to be, super knowledgeable in the skins or, put a lot of effort. Like there was obviously a lot of glove knife combo content before I started doing it, but people didn't really dive into it, as in depth as I did. So I started looking at like, rare patterns on gloves and comboing it with, rare pattern knives and just digging a level deeper into glove knife combos. And that's kind of where, I made my niche for this scene.
Yeah, man, it's really impressive, and I always like to talk to especially YouTubers and just like what goals did you have? Like what usually people just start off and they just I just want to put out a video and they don't really have any goals, but then if their channel starts taking off and their videos start doing good, then maybe they have goals. Like, did you have any goals, or were you just kind of putting out stuff that you liked and then other people just ended up liking it too?
The end goal was always to make it a full-time thing. That was
hmm
that was like the goal from the get-go. And I was working so I did start doing this full time about a year ago, maybe like half a
Okay,
year ago. I do it with, I do other things as well for a job, but it's more so like a part time, commission based work.
sure.
But I mean, the end goal for me, right, or at least not the end goal, but right now the goal would be maybe I don't know, like I feel like 100,000. Is by the number, the digits. Like 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. 100,000 subs would be incredible.
Get that plaque on the
Um,
wall.
yeah, that'd be dope. But uh, for me, it's weird too because it gives me this sense of security. Whenever YouTube is a very fickle thing where like interest in the game comes and goes, especially for CS. So your views could be incredible one month and then completely drop off the next month. So reaching some, like, I have some baseline numbers that I would really like to hit to where I would feel super comfortable doing this 100%, like be 100% committed to it and do it 40 hours a week as like a full-time job. And 100K would be like my current goal that I'm really trying to get to.
Well, you're doing a pretty good job. I mean, you're currently over at the time that I typed all of these up, all these questions that I have for you, you were at just over 20K, and that was just like a couple weeks ago, I think. Now you're just about to touch 30. I mean, your videos, like everything's pretty consistent in numbers, like the views, I mean, and it's just pretty cool to see that happen. So, like, tell me how your journey has kind of been so far. Does it feel like, how does it feel to brand out and build your platform successfully with an audience that clearly loves the stuff that you put out?
Well, from the get-go, I was always under the assumption, like I said, with the scene being so competitive, that I have to make videos super high quality and super in depth for them to really stand out from others. So at the start, I was just spending hours on hours on hours doing videos. So like stuff like the diamond gem guides, those were like 150 hours each.
Holy
The
shit.
the video, well, they're looking through 1,000 patterns,
Yeah.
and that's kind of part of what I do is, rare patterns and stuff. So it's a lot of looking at patterns, and that typically is super time consuming. Um, and then after that, I kind of built the audience up. And I do want to mention, like, having a big number is cool and all, but honestly, I've spoken to this about this with a lot of people, but having a small community that really rocks with you and is really enthusiastic about the same stuff, it's honestly way better than having like a large sub count. It's so much better to speak to the people directly and
Yeah.
talk to them on a daily in servers specifically about skins and checking out like the new pickups and seeing what everybody is like kind of doing with their inventory. That is way more interesting to me and way more rewarding than just racking up numbers on YouTube. Like I said, skins in general are more of I would say a niche in the CS community. I feel like the competitive aspect and the gameplay is the big thing with CS. Skins are honestly more of like a secondary thing. So um, I'm just hype, man, where I'm at right now because I don't feel like I have to do something insane for people to watch it. People rock with me, like a small group of people rock with me, and that's dope, man. I can do like more videos that I really, more so like for fun. I don't have to
Yeah.
do like 200 glove knife combos. I could just do like, oh, rating these types of crafts or doing a tier list on this gun. That's being able to do more like relaxed and fun, community driven content. Is very like I'm really happy to be at that spot in my content journey.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And you hit the nail on the head when you said it's awesome to just have like a small community of people that engage with your stuff, and it's kind of just like you're just putting something out there and just creating conversation with people that watch your stuff, you know? And I don't know, I'm in the Twitter space, and that's one thing that when Two Tone was telling me about you and help, put this together, I was surprised that you're not a part of the Twitter community because it's a really fucking cool place. There's a lot of really cool people.
100%. People ask me that all the time. Like, do you have a Twitter and everything? I made like a new one like a couple weeks ago, but um, I typically stay off social media besides when I do content because um so yeah, obviously a majority of it is very positive feedback, but you can really get stuck in a loop on negative feedback
Oh
or
yeah.
negative comments and whatnot. And Twitter occasionally can be quite negative at times.
Yes.
Partially, well, let me give you an example. When I made the Diamond Gem guide, Karambit Gamma Doppler Phase Ones. Now they're like a huge thing. They're all going for $10,000 plus. people recognize the diamond gem term,
Hmm.
and it's a thing now. But before that, when I put out the video, CS has a lot of to do with market manipulation and all that, just because it's a weird market, right? Where
Yes.
people making content on it can directly manipulate the price of skins. So when I put that video out, it was a it was a passion thing. I was super stoked to see like, oh, this is like a gem basically. It's a normal phase, a Doppler that can get a full blue blade. And I was like, this is dope. I'm gonna go through all 1,000 patterns, make a community guide, and tell people about this. And on Twitter, people were people were cooking me because they were like, this is market manipulation, and the term diamond gem is stupid. And I got a lot of flack for it. And so I don't know, that kind of put me off getting into the Twitter community for a while.
Hmm.
Now I'm like more open to it, and I know a lot of people from it. There's a ton of amazing people in that community, but that whole situation kind of put me off the Twitter space for a while.
Yeah, and that's understandable. I mean, even like I'm not a big creator at all, but I have a good group of people that I interact with, and I know a lot of really really good people on Twitter, and I got to meet so many of them at the major, and it was a really cool thing because like without the Twitter community, and I'm late to the Twitter community. I've only been a part of it for like I think 2 years, and
Mhm.
I've met so many cool people, and you go to the major and everybody's there, and it's just like it was just like such an undescribable feeling. It was so cool, and like if I didn't have access to Twitter, or if I didn't use Twitter, like I would not have known so many of the people that I went to go and see. And like there's definitely the shitheads out there. I posted a picture of my dog when he was a puppy last year, and he's a boxer, and I got some guy calling me a fucking animal abuser or something. I'm
God,
like
crazy.
there's just
What?
some crazy fucking people out there, but there's a lot more good people than the bad people. But I
Yeah,
get where
yeah,
you're
for
coming from.
100%. Yeah. I just feel like the typically the YouTube like, you know, on Twitter you could say whatever you want at any time. So people, like, if you have something negative to say, you could just fire it off as much as you want.
Yeah.
On YouTube, it's like it's always there on the video and everything. So typically YouTube comments tend to be more positive, in my experience at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I definitely think I should probably, use that platform more, just to reach out to more people, because like you mentioned, there's a lot of people I would love to speak to that I have never met and spoken to before, which they're probably active on that space.
Yeah, it's it's just a good like accessory onto doing content too. If you want to put your stuff out there, especially if you're doing guides on like let's say new patterns of new skins that come out or something like that. If you're one of the first people that put that out, your tweet's gonna blow up off the rip.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And well, also I we touched base for a second on like new content in CS coming out. My kind of angle with this is I don't want to be the first necessarily to put something out when it comes to new content. Typically I would like to do something thorough,
For
like
sure.
really look into it, get the exact details of it, and put it out maybe a little bit late, but it will be very in depth. And that's kind of how I go about with a lot of the content I make.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that either.
Absolutely.
So there is of course some issues with the game Counter Strike itself. We all know this, but we just recently got the Genesis terminal, and before that, we haven't really seen a whole lot of new skins other than the three collections that came out. Forget when those came out by now. Probably close to 6 months ago, I want to say.
Yeah, it's a while back, yeah.
We got no new charms in almost a year, even though Valve has given people the tools to start creating new charms. I feel like we're probably going to be getting charms in the future, but no idea where those are yet. Market manipulation, you kind of just briefly touched on that a few minutes ago, and Stockholms were going crazy. Factory new random fucking weapons were going insanely nuclear. uh you know it's just a really weird kind of state that we're in, and Counter-Strike's seen these weird little phases and weird states before. But I kind of wanted to just pick your brain and like, what are your thoughts of the current state of CS? Do you think we're in like kind of a weird zone, especially with the Genesis terminal coming out and rubbing people the wrong way? Like, what are your thoughts?
That is the yes, that's exactly the word I was gonna use. Weird. It's in a really weird spot because Counter Strike is a combination. It's a game, and then we have the skins, and I'm kind of starting to feel like that is splitting into two separate things. It was always about you're playing Counter Strike, you're interested in you play the game a lot, you're competitive with it, or you want to get some nice skins, you get the skins, and we're kind of seeing that just split in half because when we look at the gameplay side of things, it's been completely barren in terms of updates, in terms of feedback, in terms of communication with Valve, that we haven't really gotten much of anything. But when you look at the skin side of things, we're seeing incredible things happen. I say incredible in terms of like numbers because we're at what 5.5 billion market cap now. We're seeing skins, quadruple in price. We're
Yeah.
seeing a ton of new people. I've seen a lot of people that don't even play CS just get into the market.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new money coming in from even like people that do traditional stocks. They're getting into it as well. So it's weird right now because I always thought of skins as an extension of the gameplay, but
Yes.
now the skin market is evolving into something completely different.
It's like a
You
money
know,
racket now. That's
exactly. It's just I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like it's crazy to watch what's happening right now. Like you would think it has always been for many years now. You look at the player account and you look at skin prices, and that typically correlates. More people play, more people buy skins, skin prices go up. But now we're seeing the complete opposite. I
yeah.
mean, even when player count is down and community sentiment is down, skins are still quadrupling in price, and the entry point now for a lot of these skins is absurd. I would do a lot of budget content in terms of loadouts, in terms of glove knife combos,
That's getting hard
and
now.
I look back now on those like the top 10 combos under 500, and you look at the prices, and you're like, wow, you could get some nice stuff for 500, and you check the price now, and it's like, oh, this combo is now 3 grand,
Yep.
and it's like, dang, bro, like you really have to have some crazy money now to get into skins. And at the end of the day, if you're not looking at it as an investment and financial moves, it's still video game skins at the end of the day. And
Yes.
that's where the Genesis terminal really rubs me the wrong way because whenever you have to when people say to me a lot, they were saying in one of my previous videos, like, Slaid, you have expensive skins and you're complaining about expensive skins in the Genesis terminal. And it's completely two separate things. We have the market and then we have Steam transactions. I could go in like in depth into that. That would be a long, conversation. But at the end of the day, whenever you're paying Steam directly as a Steam market purchase,
Yes.
$1,600 for a stat track factory with no guarantee of value. Valve has the right to undercut you, and it's already almost hitting the Steam balance limit. So this whole system was not thought out in
No,
general,
not at all.
and the prices don't make any sense as well. I mean, I understand where they're going with this. They're trying to get around gambling and make it so you can buy skins themselves, but it came off extremely greedy. And the way that, the arms dealer talks to, like, hey, this thing, nobody has ever seen it. It's the only one.
Yeah.
You have three
Check
days
out
to
this
accept
bad
it.
boy.
Go ask your mom, get your mom's credit card and spend $1,600 on this. It's like, relax, with cases, it's always been there. We're used to the system. You know what the odds are with cases, and you know the odds are against you. And if you want to open them, go for it. I don't advise it. I never do it. I don't have any interest in the case opening side of things. I literally don't have. I think I might have one case opening video on my channel out of 180. I have zero interest in case openings, but I still do not like the Genesis system. I think the pricing is egregious. I think the way they force you to buy it in 3 days is uh just wrong in general. And uh, I've I will not be buying a single thing from the Genesis terminal.
No.
I have no interest in it.
I opened one just because it was new, and I got to the ending of it and I knew what was gonna happen. But I was just like, I will never, if I get these in a drop, I will never fucking open this ever. Like, I'm not gonna get excited to get the rarest item and then have to cough up, you know, 1,400, 1,500
Exactly.
bucks or whatever. Like, what the fuck are we talking about now, Valve? Like, really?
Uh,
Horrible
It's like you
execution.
you get the red, and it's like, well, you didn't really get a red. You have the opportunity to buy it.
Yeah.
And if we look at the skin price, like we can compare, obviously, skin prices typically with a new case, the high tier skins are going to be incredibly expensive because people really want to get them. They will overpay to own them, be one of the first people to own them. But when we compare prices of previous skins to the prices of these, we have never seen $1,600 price points for, Stat Track Factory New Reds. That's just never been a thing. That is egregious pricing. That is collection prices for coverts. That is just. I feel like Valve really overstepped it on the price point. They know people are willing to pay
Oh
thousands of
yeah.
dollars for skins, but in a market that is controlled by supply and demand, the fundamentals are there for expensive skins that have been in the market where the value is created by the market and the community. With these skins, Valve is telling you they're worth 1600. Are they actually? You have no guarantee on that.
Hmm.
And we're kind of seeing a lot of these prices crash right now. A
For
lot of
sure.
these prices have been going down like crazy. Some people obviously did make some money because they were the first to sell, but a lot of people might, it's I'm very uncertain what happens with this because I just frankly think the whole system right now is a complete mess.
Yeah, and like I love the oligarch, or I don't know how you pronounce it, oligarch. I think the new
Oligarch?
AK.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's awesome. A lot of people were shitting on it the day that it comes out. Like, everybody does that every time Valve does something new. They shit on it. For once, the community was right to shit on the Genesis terminal right when it came out. But,
Mhm.
you know, if I want to go buy that AK or the M4, the full throttle, I think is awesome too. Why am I going to open the fucking Genesis terminal? If I have a few $100s kicking around on CS Float, I'll just wait like 2 weeks for them to drop in price and I'll go buy it off of them. Why the fuck am I going to give Valve that money? It makes no sense.
Exactly. 100%. And for me, whenever I talk about like I said, I personally don't have any interest in case openings or anything. I always exclusively deal with the market and the skins themselves. I'm completely dis disassociated with the case opening side of things. I know the case openings have to happen for skins to be generated.
Hmm.
That's a given. But um I always say don't open anything. Just buy the skins,
Oh my
you
god,
know?
yeah. If I could
And
go back in time and tell my 15, 16-year-old self that, I would have thousands of more dollars to my name.
absolutely. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
complete waste. I mean, I still open cases every now and then. Like if I do a LAN, we do LANs every now and then with my buddies from the States and here in Canada and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And for stuff like that, I go opening cases every now and then. I'll open cases. I'm not against it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a completely horrible fucking idea if you're trying to make money, especially because I mean the chances are just slim to none. I mean, out of the 10 years that I've played Counter Strike and the however many thousands of cases I've opened, I've only opened 3 knives. Like that's not gonna
Okay.
equate to the
Wait,
amount that I've spent.
what knives did you get? Hold on, I'm interested.
My first one, it was a bayonet freehand in 2018 at like 3 in the morning, I think. And
Okay.
I had to keep it down because I almost woke my parents up. The,
I would have for sure, man, dude.
yeah.
The first knife on box is crazy.
Oh, it's so fun. And then last year I hit a crazy streak. I opened Nomad Vanilla,
Okay.
and that was
Okay.
I got home from work. I didn't even play a game yet. I was just in Discord with my buddies, had a couple cases because I was going to Denmark for the Copenhagen major. And
Mhm.
I opened a couple cases that I had ready to open when I got to Denmark, and like my fourth case in or something, I opened up the Nomad Vanilla. The next day when I got to Denmark, I opened up the one sticker capsule 2 that I had in my inventory, hit the crown foil, which to me I'll
Ooh.
call that a knife, and then I think it was April of this year, I want to say maybe. I opened up whenever the fever case came out, I opened up skeleton vanilla. So
Ooh,
that's
okay.
that's
Very
not
solid
bad.
knives all around. Yeah, yeah,
Not
yeah. That's
bad,
good.
yeah. But yeah,
I
it's
th
just it's a dangerous game to fucking open cases all the time. It's just so bad.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, if we have it's a Friday night and there's a ton of people on a Discord call, we're all playing and stuff. I'll open a few here and there for to open it. I don't care what comes out. It's for I'm paying to do the experience of opening a case. I don't really care what comes out because yeah, I'm not opening cases to make money. I'll
Yeah,
occasionally do it. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's fun to open cases,
for
the
sure.
spinner and everything. But I did want to mention too, I did do the one case opening I did on my channel was with my buddy Trey. And like you mentioned, your first knife, you remember exactly
Oh,
the year, what time it was,
yeah,
what you were
dude.
doing. Yeah.
It's
I
historical.
we did 100 dreams and nightmares each, and I remember I was like case like 50 or 60. I got a butterfly Lauren minimal wear condition,
Oh
and
man,
you turn into a demon whenever you open your first knife. Like
dude.
it's too much dopamine and serotonin. It's crazy. It is. I could see why people like continue to open cases after they get their first one because it's like it's a crazy feeling. But um, if you want to open cases, man, you do it because you want to open the case itself. Don't open it to get skins. Just
Yes.
if you want skins, just buy it.
And in today's day and age, especially with the armory pass, like I think if you can just use your brain a little bit, you can make stupid money. So like they announced the character craft stickers are leaving. They announced that the graphic collection and the fever cases or no, the gallery case is leaving.
Mhm.
So to me, the first thing I want to do is use some stars up and buy a couple of those items each. And then if you have leftover stars, now that we know that Valve is interested in shuffling the armory pass around and removing stuff, to me that's like okay, we have the ability to make charms in the community. They're going to add more charms one day. Why wouldn't they? I would be investing in those. I would be investing in other collections and just sitting and waiting and just forgetting that you invested in them and gamble, if you want to call it gambling, gamble that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's honestly like a fair just buy stuff and hold it. Looking back on all the years, CS skins have always been performing exceptionally well when you compare it to, your normal stocks, S&P 500. It always outperforms everything. It's just consistent. Just get some, and I typically, I just did a video recently on how I'm investing, and my go-to is I first and foremost make sure the skin is a good investment in terms of collection, low floats, purples and pinks for trade up value. A very, very simple strategy. Buy and then make sure you like this. I like the skin, so then I hold it, and that's it. Just sit on the skins. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy. And if you think something is going to be discontinued and the supply is gonna, it's a simple numbers game at the end of the day. If supply is going down with trade ups and the supply is capped, like for example, the collection, the graphic collection being removed, obviously the price is going to go up. And kind of like you said, I also bought a lot of stuff from the graphic collection, and I'm currently buying, some charms, stuff that's getting discontinued.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it.
I'm sitting on 1,000 stars.
Woo!
So I'm really hyped for a new any new update. I'm not. I like I said, I typically don't open stuff, but I wanted to experience like getting skins on the first day, you know,
Yes.
and getting 1,000 stars. By the way, whew, that
That's a
is rough.
grind.
It's a grind, man. It's a lot of work. I was grinding deathmatch for like 5 6 hours a day for like
Oh
a month
my.
maybe. It's a lot, but I can't wait till I cannot wait till there's new content because having imagine if they released new gloves, bro, I would be so hyped for that
That'd be
because first of
crazy.
all I get to make new videos, new combos, but I've been being able to maybe own new gloves on day one is probably like a surreal feeling.
Oh, big time. Big time. So tell me what your hopes are for the future of CS2 and your content. Are you looking oh well I guess I should have removed this part. I was gonna ask if you're looking to do this full time, but you are doing that.
Mhm.
Um are you maybe trying to expand to other platforms one day, or do you have like projects that you want to do outside of YouTube, or maybe intertwine them? Like what do you have planned for your future?
I think right now the future of CS content is on Twitch. I think
True.
I think the skins have been out for such a long time. People have seen videos. I think everything is kind of shifting to the live format, and that's exactly what I plan to do. I've done some streams on YouTube, which I really enjoyed, and just haven't had the time to really be able to stream a ton. But um, This is a great question because like starting in maybe 2 or 3 weeks, I should be doing streams very, very frequently. And I know you stream quite a bit as well, don't you, on Twitch, right?
Yeah, usually on my weekends when I don't have work. Yeah.
Hmm. And I feel like CS content really CS skin content excels on Twitch because like we talked about, it's community made. And so you get to speak to all of the people in the community live, which where I want to move everything to. That is my end goal realistically. I will still do YouTube, but I want to do Twitch full time. Twitch or YouTube streaming, whichever one works, but I want to stream full time. I think it's I feel like doing YouTube videos on the same topic can occasionally get you can get burnt on it and boring.
Oh, for
But when you're
sure.
doing stuff live and with a community that's speaking to you right then and there, it's always refreshing. It's always fun. You get great content out of it in terms of like it's really, what One's been doing. Uh, you can make so many great videos off of live content with people participating in it. So my end goal is going to be to move to Twitch and do everything live.
Beauty, man. Well, I think you can do it, man. You've come this far to make the transition over. Should be pretty seamless.
Hey man, we'll see, and
Fingers crossed.
I'm hoping for it. But yeah,
Well, dude, that was awesome. I for the outro, I like to shine the spotlight over to the guests. So if there's anything that you'd like to promote, if you have stuff that's coming up that you want to talk about, anything that the people should know about, what you got going on, let them have it.
but man, hey, just want to say a huge shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for having me on. Um, I honestly love watching the conversations you have with a lot of people in the space because um, the way like you do it, you hear stuff from people that you watch all the time, but it's stuff that they never really talk about
Exactly,
because
man.
they
Yeah,
do CS content, but then you talk about their inspirations and stuff, and you're like, oh, cool, that's what also got me into CS, or that's why I like this and that. It's really dope to see.
thank you, man. I
As far
appreciate that.
as yeah, bro. As far as what I'm promoting, like I'm really just moving to Twitch right now, and just continuing content. It's the same old. Hopefully, there's new content coming soon. That would be phenomenal. And yeah, man, thank you so much for having me on.
Alrighty, guys, and that will do it for today's episode. Shout out to Slaid, man. Just a great talk, man. I love talking to, it's just a guy like Slaid is just so easy to talk to. It feels like, you've known him for so long. Just, reminiscing on the OG skins, OG YouTubers, and stuff like that. I imagine we'll have Slaid back on, in the near future, and we'll probably be talking about, whatever. We'll figure something out. But in the meantime, we are going to wrap it up for this week. So you guys have a great Friday. You enjoy your weekend, and we'll catch you guys next Friday. Till next time, everybody.